Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, September 15th, 2021. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. In the previous session, we began the day pretty strong here, and we were looking for a test at the previous session's high, perhaps a push through it. We did mention if a rejection occurred at the previous session's high, that could lead to weakness the rest of the session. The ES and the NQ both fell shy of the previous session's high before finding rejection, and then dropped into the end of the day, eventually pushing below the previous session's lows. The Dow, the YM, and RTY both finished with failed new highs and bearish outside days. So this market continues to see a lingering pullback. No strong rejection low just yet. This is, we're looking for some sort of significant rejection like this, or a significant rejection like that. Something that signals that we've reached the bottom and then we're turning back around. And at this point, we're not seeing that. We're seeing price close below the previous month's midpoint as it did yesterday, now trading below that level. And if price can't pop back above this previous month's midpoint, then we likely head back to the previous month's low, and that's going to be around 43.50, that pivot low. So we could be looking at more weakness ahead if we don't find that significant rejection day soon. So continuing to watch this. Above 44.50 could open up a bit of strength, but failure to do so really opens up the previous month's low. All right, taking a look here at the NQ. Again, very similar price action, a lingering pullback here. This one had a multi-day sideways action, 7 days sideways, a downside break. You can see this retested the bottom of the range, retested the midpoint of the break day, and dropped. Another retest in that zone yesterday and dropped. And now here we are, inside day at the lower half of the previous session's range, and again still in a downward trend, still lower highs, lower lows, and no signs of major rejection just yet. So again, that opens up the potential for more weakness, perhaps 15.2, which is this previous month's midpoint, that CLVN market structure zone, that breakout point. Perhaps that's the next level to be tested. Again, we got to find that major rejection, something like this here, where you're rejecting before you can fade it back toward the recent highs. And at some point, expecting that to happen, but until then, we could continue to see further near-term weakness ahead. All right, let's take a look here at crude oil. All right, here's crude. Again, this one pushing through the $70 level and closing beyond it for the first time in several months here, or at least in a couple of months. Price pushes through, closes the retest in the previous session, 70. This is what we talked about here in our trading room as well. After we closed above this level here a couple of days ago, Friday here, the idea was that any pullback into 70 or even below 70, in this case it got 69.98, could be a short-term buying opportunity for a stretch to 73 to 74. So the fact that this is our major pivot, 70, and it's now pushing above it, suggests we could be headed to the next highest zone above, and again that takes you right here between 73 and 74 and the previous quarter's close price. So right now on the way higher, any pullback still provides an opportunity to buy it for continuation toward that end, as long as price remains above 70 on a daily closing basis. All right, let's take a look lastly at gold futures. Right now, gold futures down about 0.2%. We mentioned before that 1840 rejection could open up a return back down toward the bottom end of this range, as low as 1760. We got into 1780 yesterday and then turned around and became a bullish outside day. Right now holding in the upper half of the previous session's range. And again, the idea here behind gold is that we likely stay within the 1840 to 1760 zone, so somewhere in here. How that looks could be any number of ways. It could continue to chomp around. From this rejection, the idea was we would likely float here. Once we get here, we may float back and continue to chop. We got close, 1780, now we're here. We'll see how it goes, but at the moment we could see further chop in this range before the next move outside this market structure occurs. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.